Social Emotional Learning in Health and Physical Education, an Integrated Approach, Group Dynamics, Part 2. Please note, this presentation has been divided into 5 sections due to its length and difficulty uploading. The short introduction will remain the same for each segment. Thank you. Hi there. Glad to join in the conversations and sharing. This will be a little different approach as I will find it difficult to tune into the collaboration schedule. I've created a slideshow presentation. This slideshow presentation is intended to act as a companion guide to my publication, Sticks and Stones, Improving Group Dynamics Through the Use of Cooperative and Leadership Games, an Integrated Approach. You should be able to conveniently listen to the presentation according to your own schedules. The slides are somewhat color-coded, which might allow you to scroll and listen to specific segments. The 5 segments of the presentation are the why and what of social emotional learning, group dynamics, communication, creating the right teaching environments and learning opportunities, and practical applications of collaboration. I hope you enjoy. Today I'll be sharing some highlights from my action research project in a 3-phase interdisciplinary strategy. A 5th grade class was coached on interpersonal skills in the classroom and reinforced that learning in a special physical education class. The objective? To reintroduce a rejected child back into the class with some measure of acceptance. This was presented at the SHAPE Conference in Sioux Falls, South Dakota, July 2019. The theme, Exploring the Mind-Body Connection, Social Emotional Learning in Health and Physical Education. Note that this action research was conducted as an extension of regular skill-based instruction and curriculum. For a free download of my work and the foundations of this presentation, please contact me through my website, crazycartwheel.com, by going to the contact page and sending me an email. Lessons and activities are included in this publication, which you may find useful. Group dynamics and the get-along factor. How do we build trusting relationships, reach understandings of one another, achieve goals through coordinated actions and planned strategies? Shapiro, 1993, claims that the difference between classrooms in which students are achieving or not is directly attributed to the amount of negative or positive interaction, cohesion, between the individual students themselves, the class as a whole, and between the class and the teacher. Social Emotional Learning and Essentials of Group Dynamics. My journey, a little background. It seems I've always had a curiosity about the roles that adults and children play, both individually and in groups. The fact that every teaching or professional position acquired was a result of rapid growth and building, with the attendant realignment of district and territorial lines, which in turn contributed to environmental chaos. This environmental chaos in turn affected negatively the interpersonal relations of those human beings forced together quickly, students, teachers, administrators, all staff, and so on. So along the way, the question became, how do you cultivate the get-along factor with regard to creating positive teaching environments and learning opportunities with so much helter-skelter? And then, the aha moment. I discovered the Johnson brothers and their theory and research on the subject of group dynamics. Warning, awareness may become habit forming. What is this thing called group dynamics? Groups are the foundation of our existence. We are born into a group called the family. We live, learn, work, and play in groups. The impact of group behaviors affects the quality and productiveness of an individual's life. Group dynamics is a relatively new study and was very popular in the 90s, then seemed to go stealth, at least as regards to the practical applications in mainstream education, until now. Group dynamics is defined by Johnson & Johnson, 1994, as a scientific study of the behavior in groups. I believe that a basic understanding and practical applications of the essentials of group dynamics is of critical importance for the successful integration of social-emotional learning in all content areas with respect to creating the right environments for learning and creating the learning opportunities. Some essentials for understanding group dynamics. There are 3 get-along factors I'd like to share. 1. Stages of group development. 2. Negative factors affecting group productivity. And 3. Communication. The 5 stages of group development: forming, storming, norming, performing, adjourning. The student composition of classrooms change with each year, as does the dynamics of the interpersonal relationships within those classrooms. The cycle of classroom dynamics typically go through these 5 stages every year. Forming, the howdy-doody, polite, and inhibited behavior stage. Storming, the huff and puff, the competition for power roles of greater or lesser degree. The norming stage, sinking, a type of truce with regard to acceptance of roles individuals play. Hopefully, if the class survives this stage, they move to performing. Let's get it on. Working together, marked by less individual or group conflict. And then the last stage, adjournment. The party's over at the end of the year, cycling out. It would be essential then that careful attention be given to the balanced placement of children within each classroom. And of course, avoid the splitting up of a class for special area instruction or any other reason, as this would negatively affect the group dynamics of the specific classroom and its collective productivity. Three negative factors affecting group cohesiveness: group size, the roles we play, and communication. Negative factors affecting cohesiveness. Group size. As physical educators, we are well aware of the complications of group size, compounded by teaching multiple classes in facilities meant for single class use. Larger group sizes include a diversity of individuals with wider ranges of skills and/or problems, which facilitate the development of specialized subgroups or cliques, which in turn may contribute to less task involvement, easy to hide, feelings of anonymity resulting in less social responsibility, lower morale, reduction in productivity and performance, learned helplessness, and a sense of low personal control. Negative factors affecting group cohesiveness, the roles we play in groups. A look at status, cliques, and subgroups. Part 1. Roles we play in groups. Status. Members of established groups or cliques usually occupy multiple roles, which can powerfully influence the actions of group members. There are differing social roles that are associated with varying degrees of status. Status is defined as the function of the degree to which an individual's contribution is crucial to the success, prestige of the group. How much power that individual has over group processes, and the extent to which that person embodies some idealized or admired characteristic, such as being physically attractive, who they know or are associated with, etc. High status individuals generally impose disproportionately strong impacts on group decision making, whereas low status individuals who offer creative, intelligent advice are often ignored. Part 2, the roles we play in groups, cliques, and subgroups. Some common identifiers. Well, we have the free riders. There are the less able group members. They leave it to others to complete the group's task. Then you've got the social loafers. They easily hide when the group works on a task where it's difficult to identify members' contributions. Group thinkers is a collective group mentality striving for unanimity by overriding the discerning opinion or voice of alternative ideas and courses of action. Mobbing. Crowding around someone in an unruly and excitable way in order to admire or attack them. There are different types. Examples being community mobbing, workplace mobbing, online mobbing. Gang stalking. Organized harassment. The targeting of an individual for revenge, jealousy, sport, or to keep them quiet with the objective of influencing the victim, conditioning the victim, or destroying the victim. Scapegoating. The practice of signaling out a person or group for unmerited blame and consequential negative treatment. Additionally, the use of aggression in victimization by individuals and others by engaging in behaviors that have the intent on hurting or harming others in ways that are respected by the gender or peer group. Boys, on the average, use more overt aggression, verbal and physical, whereas girls, on the average, are covert, lethal weapons and engage in the purposeful manipulation and damage of peer relationships. Negative factors affecting group cohesiveness. Communication. One of our biggest challenges in the conflicts we experience today is centered around the issue of communication. Communication networks can contribute both positively or negatively to group cohesion. In large group settings, one of the barriers that interferes with effective communication is competition among group members for whose voice gets heard. Communication may then evolve into a one-way process with established hierarchies and protocol, thus promoting win or lose situations and perpetuating to a greater degree defensive behaviors among group members. In comparison, smaller groups typically have fewer restrictions on who communicates with whom, more easily adopt two-way communication, establish a climate that is cooperative, and encourage equal participation of all members, fostering the members' input as of real merit to the other group members. This concludes Part 2, Social Emotional Learning in Health and Physical Education, an Integrated Approach, Group Dynamics. Up next, Part 3, Communication.